Welcome, everyone, to the long-form version of the Skol Cole Show. I'm your host, Cole Smith, and today we discuss the Vikings' devastating 13-3 loss to the Baltimore Ravens on Saturday. The Vikings' offense didn't do a whole lot. There were a few moments, but overall, I thought that they really struggled. It's kind of like an extension of what happened during joint practices. I attended the joint practices on Wednesday and Thursday, and Wednesday, the passing offense especially, didn't get anything going until the very end of practice. And then Thursday, a little bit of a bounce back, but I still thought it was mostly inconsistent all the way throughout. That pretty much happened in Saturday's game. We had J.J. McCarthy hit Ty Felton for a big 50-yard gain on the second drive of the game in setting him up at 1st and goal. Unfortunately, he had one pass a little too high, a little too hard to Ty Felton on the back end line. It would have been a very tough catch to make for Felton. Would have been a tough pass for JJ to make. Would have needed some more touch. Probably would have had to lead him a little bit more than he did. But ultimately, incomplete. I think we could kind of give him a little bit of a pass there. But 4th and goal at the 1 yard line. JJ kind of airmailed. Pass to Miles Price. Price was wide open in the end zone, and JJ just completely missed him. People were saying the ball hit Miles Price in the hands, and it did, but the ball was high. It was behind him a little bit. It was a pass that JJ has to make. Some people were saying that there was a defender in his face, but you can always step up, put some more touch on the ball or something. It just seemed like it was another example of J.J. McCarthy just flashing some potential and then ultimately showing why he is just so erratic in his third year as an NFL quarterback. It's very frustrating. I was a big J.J. defender last year, but ultimately the inconsistencies are just kind of really why the Vikings got Kyler Murray, and ultimately why I think Carson Wentz, who we'll get to in a minute, could be QB2. Ultimately, JJ finished 5 of 10 on the day, 81 yards, and took one sack. He did say that he got banged up a little bit after the game. He did take 2 low hits. I was a little surprised. I thought he was actually going to be really, really hurt during the game, and ended up playing through it. But he and Kevin O'Connell did allude to the fact that JJ did get a little banged up throughout. So it was Carson Wentz who I thought had the better day. 9 out of 11 passing, 92 yards, did take 2 sacks, but led the Vikings to their one scoring drive of the day with 1:48 left in the second quarter. In the first half, Carson Wentz completed passes of 35 yards and 16 yards on back-to-back plays. Even the third play after that, he had an RPO pass to Dylan Bell, only gained 3 yards. Didn't look like much, but he diagnosed that it was a good play to get the ball out to Bell. Didn't have to move his feet. There's little wasted movement in the pass. Just got the ball out, kind of keeps the offense in rhythm a little bit. Drive concluded with a 52-yard field goal by Will Reichard, and it should be noted that Brett Thorson, UDFA out of Georgia, the punter, big leg, but everyone kind of questioned whether he'd be able to hold the ball. He did not hold while he was at Georgia. Kirby Smart prefers to have his quarterbacks hold on field goals. Thorson was the holder for the 52-yard field goal. So keep that in mind. Punters, I thought both of them had very, very good days. Also thought the edge defenders, PFF, at least immediately after the game, had some grades out. They were not fans of Tyrone Ingram-Dawkins yet again, but I thought he had a really strong start to the day. He had a tackle for a 2-yard gain on the first Ravens play of the game. And then he flushed Tyler Huntley out of the pocket on the second down play, drew a holding penalty, helped force a 3-and-out 2 plays later. So I liked what I saw out of Ingram-Dawkins. I guess I didn't look at every single play all over. I've been kind of doing some other stuff today. Had to do a rewrite and everything of takeaways through Vikings Wire, through the USA Today. Check that out, as well as some other written pieces. But Ingram Dawkins, I did think flashed, and honestly, I'm not expecting a finished product at this point because he was a full-time interior defensive lineman for the most part last year, and then this year the Vikings moved him to edge rusher. Are experimenting with him even throughout college. He, had like all this talent, but wasn't ever able to fully replicate that with his production. So another position change. I'm not expecting him to be like in the 80s or 90s as far as PFF grade goes. Want to get better, but I thought he flashed, and honestly, that's what we need. Don't know if it's enough to where I feel comfortable enough to have him be the third edge defender. Don't know if I feel like Tyler Batty or Bo Richter should be that edge 3 either, or Chaz Chambliss. I do still think this team could go sign Hassan Reddick, Joey Bosa, maybe even trade for an edge 3 to go behind Andrew Van Ginkel and Dallas Turner. Dallas Turner looked phenomenal in joint practices this week. Did not see him play on Saturday, which was to be expected. He earned it. Finally, big takeaway is just these receivers. So we have Ty Felton. He had 3 catches, 66 yards, like I said. But Miles Price kind of vying for that wide receiver 4 spot now. He was a good kick returner, punt returner last year, a little inconsistent with putting the ball on the ground, but seems like he's made strides as a receiver this offseason. Through training camp, he was really strong. He was really strong during joint practices. Only had 1 catch for 8 yards in Saturday's game, but there was like a high pass to him on the first pass of the game from J.J. McCarthy. And then, like I said earlier, he was wide open in the end zone, and J.J. just threw the ball way too hard, way too high. Don't care what anybody says. That's on J.J., not our guy, Miles Price. So those guys are, they're fighting for wide receiver 4. I think they're both going to make the team. I think Ty Felton has had a very strong camp as well. What I'm wondering is if the team ends up keeping 6 receivers, though. Dylan Bell, Dante Fleming, and Deshaun Jones, they're all kind of showing out in different ways in camp. Dylan Bell, he's more of a get the ball to him and jet sweeps and screen passes, get like a lot of yak and everything. Kind of has a little bit of a running back build. Dante Fleming looks more like a traditional wide receiver. Does have some punt return ability. He spent the 2025 season with the Vikings practice squad. And then Deshaun Jones, he spent the past 2 years on the practice squad. Very productive throughout preseason in that time. Even in Saturday's game, 5 catches on 6 targets. Unfortunately, he did fumble on 1 play, but I do think that he's shown so much. He flashed throughout training camp and definitely joint practices when I was there. So, are the Vikings going to keep 6 receivers on the active roster? I'm not sure, just because I don't know how many cornerbacks they're going to hold. I do think they could be holding on to 6 safeties. 1 safety to shout out in particular. Jacob Thomas, UDFA out of James Madison. Yes, that's right. James Madison. My mind's all scrambled right now. He almost came away with another interception after having an interception in preseason game number 1 against the Giants. Seems like he's really getting acclimated to the defense really, really well. I think it's 6 safeties. I think it's him, Jay Ward, Josh Metellus, Jacoby Thomas, even though Jacoby Thomas out of Miami, 3rd round pick. He hasn't played much lately because of back stiffness. Let's see, Theo Jackson and Tavier Thomas. I think I mentioned them all. Tavier Thomas, he's almost certainly only a special teams guy. He's a pretty good special teams guy, even though he got flagged a lot last year. But the other guys, it's like Josh Metellus. I know he's a first team guy. He's an every down starter. Jay Ward is listed as a starter, but like I also see Theo Jackson get in. I saw him in during joint practices. So it doesn't feel like Jay Ward is the only other safety there. He is getting a lot of time at big nickel. So maybe that's another way to get him and Jackson on the field at the same time. But I don't know. Jacob Thomas, he's shown me a lot to where if he started getting some playing time on defense, I would not hate. Like he's shown he can be on the team, but he's not just showing he can be on the team just because of like, oh, this could be a scrappy special teams guy. He seems to kind of like really know the defense and everything. So he seemed disappointed after the game in press conferences that he didn't come away with that interception, but there should be some more opportunities next week. He should get a lot of playing time when the Vikings play the Broncos next Friday. So that's all I got for you guys today. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. Thanks for watching. First long form Skol Cole show video in a while. There will be a lot more of these, and I'm going to keep up with the shorts as you guys are accustomed to. Skol Vikes.